Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis of oil and natural gas. We'll dive in here. I'll give you my financial opinion. Here we go. Let's dive in. So here's crude oil. This is the futures contract prices. And yep, we're getting a little bit more selling pressure. The sellers are still there. So we may see this come back a little bit. We're still above the pattern. We're still above all the resistance and support lines. So we'll see how this thing plays out. Natural gas getting a little bit more of a sell-off. We've had a monster run, and hopefully it pulls back more. Hopefully we get back in here. We are in between heating and cooling season, and I've got my favorite companies, and hopefully they pull back so I can buy more in them. XOP, yeah, you know me. This thing is continuing lower. Massive down days here. And remember, I don't try catching falling knives. Let the momentum dissipate first. Once that momentum dissipates, then I'll look to become more into adding more into these companies. We've got SM Energy. This thing is taking a detour. It has broken through its support. We could have a little bit larger pullback on our hands. We very well could. And the momentum is strong to the downside on all these. CDEV and a good strong momentum downward. We broke to the upside, and we might head lower here. That is true. Crew Energy getting a little bit of a sell-off today, still above its pattern. CPE getting more of a sell-off today. We are inside of its pattern still. We'll see if the support holds on the bottom here. Athabasca Oil getting a little bit more of a sell-off. We could come back and do a retest move. We've got Recaf that's been bucking the trend, has an up day today. We've got Crescent Point Energy selling off. Again, we're above the support lines, and we'll see if those will hold. Northern Oil and Gas selling off just like the rest of the crew. And again, guys, all of these sectors, like in commodities, you don't really get a split. They either all go up or all go down all at the same time. But we're above support there. GTE, yep, above support. Tellurian, above support. Pedevco, we're still inside of this pattern there. We've got Oasis. This thing could drop a little bit, guys. I mean, this could be a start of a larger move lower. We'll see, because we're starting to break some of these longer-term trend lines. Well, there's a longer-term trend line there. We'll see if we can break, if this trend line holds right below it. Comstock Resources getting a little bit of a pullback. It's been pretty strong relative to everything else. SD getting a little bit of a pullback. Again, this is at 52-week highs, just pulling back from it. Ring Energy, another one that could pull back to support right underneath it. If it does, I would very much be interested in a buying opportunity there. ZPTAF getting a little bit of a pullback. They're all pulling back. That's literally, they're all pulling back, and they're all above. Well, some of them are starting to go below their support lines. Some are still above it. We just have to see if they hold or not. OIH is pulling back. This is a nice little breakout here, but once they release that information, it's as if someone's pushing this stuff down. They're trying to hold it all down, perhaps. Very interesting that we line this up. We line this up with a nice good pattern, bullish engulfing. Not many sellers. We break to the upside. They release the news this day, and everyone's just panicking. It's just panic selling all over the place. And we're seeing that across the board. Everybody is doing this panic selling the past 2 days, 3 days after they release that news. But again, I mean, I'd rather be in these companies than something else. This is where the shortages are at. This is where the money's going to flow to. The money doesn't flow here, then you don't have oil. Oil will go higher. Again, we're just getting a short-term sell-off from fear. And they're all selling off. I mean, Valaris is holding in there tight, I guess. MMA offshore sideways. Tidewater getting a little bit of a sell-off there. NEX been on a monster run here, getting a little bit, and it's still quite strong today compared to everything else. KLXC, small little down day, still broken out of its declining wedge pattern. CHX back within the pattern, more of a sell-off day today. Cactus Energy getting more of a sell-off. 9 getting a sell-off. Everything's getting a sell-off. OII, a little bit more of a sell-off there. Could this head lower? It very well could head lower. Very well could. You're just creating a better buying opportunity if it goes lower. We've got Noble, HLX getting a little bit of a sell-off. CGGYY, it's right at the resistance line. It's got to try to break. Higher lows and higher highs are on a lot of these companies. We're just having a little bit of a pullback here. Petrofac, a little bit of a down day today. McCoy Global down. It's still above support, still actually looking quite good. Diamond Offshore looks like we're finding a little bit of buying pressure with that wick at the bottom there. I'm not going to go through coal. Coal's all down too, just like the rest of everything. So, I don't even go in my account. I don't even look. I'll go in there when I want to buy something and I see it turning around. I'll see the aftermath after that. But again, I've held through these things multiple times since 2020. Like, for instance, I'll pull one up. We'll do SM Energy. SM is my boy SM. So, when I was riding through this, let's go do the dailies here. When I was riding through this entire move here, so I bought it down here, these small little pullbacks, you go through here. Now, this one was a pretty big pullback. We went all the way from a peak of $27 all the way down to about $15, almost a little less than a 50% haircut. And then we rocketed higher again. And we are pulling back here, and I'm going to ride it continually. Why? Because I think that natural gas and I think that oil are going far higher than where we are today. Far higher. So in the short term, if I believe that, if that is what I think is going to happen, and this thing gets down to some area, it's just providing a better buying opportunity. Because if I own the shares today, there's no reason for me to sell them if I think that oil and natural gas are going to go higher. But that's what I think. And the overall markets are just selling off in mass. So I've been through these drawdowns before, and what you just got to do is sit through it. It's a long, painful plane ride for some people, and I don't know. I'm more worried about other people holding on than I am even myself, because I've gone through this. So you kind of just sit through it, and yeah, it just bothers me that everyone's going to be chirping. They're going to be all chirping, blah, 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 and it's like, oh God, I don't want to go through all the chirps here. And then you've got all the people that are going to say, oh, the thesis is X, Y, Z. It's like, oh my God, not this again. I believe in the thesis. There's nothing wrong with the thesis. And there's nothing that is wrong here. It's just a drawdown and a sell down. So ride through it. Use it to your opportunity. Again, this isn't going to be the first. It's not going to be the last. So we'll see where it turns around. I'm not necessarily a buyer here yet. I need the momentum to turn around. There's a lot of momentum behind this. There's probably going to be more pain in front of us. So I'm going to ride through it. That's just what I'm going to do. And that pain, remember it. Remember it, because it's going to come again. And you ride through these things, especially early in the bull market, you see more of these big swings. You get like 2 big humps. That's really what you get. And then it really starts to take off kind of mid-cycle. So you got to be built to hold on. Built to hold on, guys. And I'm not saying I'm going to be a diamond hands forever. I'm only a diamond hands when the market conditions are good. And the market conditions are still good for a move on up. So give me a thumbs up for the content, guys. Subscribe to the Platinum membership on my website below. It's in the links below. Ask me some questions. I'm going to release this. We'll release it maybe 6 a.m. my time, Mountain Standard Time. We have a 7 o'clock meeting for question and answers. If you want to jump over, become a member, Platinum member, join on the video call of Zoom and ask questions. Ask questions, join us. We can ride this thing together. We can ride it together. And I don't know, I just get afraid for other people. Like that's where I'm at. Like, I'm like, man, hopefully people are riding through this thing, because the opportunities are so big on the other side of this little pullback that we get, that none of this is going to matter after it. I just hope that people can ride through it. That's all. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.